GTM Podcast Buddhist Knowledge 38 Blessing of Life Blessing 13 Part 3 Hello everyone. You are listening to GTM Podcast Buddhist Knowledge Series on 38 Blessing of Life. Currently, we are reaching Blessing 13, which talk about cherishing your spouse. In this episode, we'll go over what kind or what type of qualified spouse should be. Before we gonna continue, if you have not listened to the previous episode just yet, we suggest you go back and listen to them first for more understanding on this subject. If you already do, one more thing before we start. Please help us subscribe, like and share to our channel available on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcast. Let us begin. Husbands and wives. Seven types of spouse. In a teaching of Sujata, the daughter-in-law of Anatta Vindika, the best supporter in Buddhism, who was causing considerable friction in her own marriage as a result of ill-chosen words. The Buddha enumerated 7 different sorts of spouse, some desirable, some undesirable. We can use these categories as a mirror on our own situation to draw lines of possible room for improvement in our current or future relationships. The 7 categories of spouse are as follows. 1. A spouse like an enemy. Such a spouse is partially to all sort of violence, always looking for opportunity to kill. Sometimes, a couple was not wholehearted about marriage, or their marriage was arranged. Only after they have been together for a while does the real personality of the partner manifest itself, and they will always be beating one another. Such a spouse is cruel to their partner instead of being compassionate, looking down on them, having no gratitude to them, and even going as far as attempting to kill their partner in some cases. A spouse with such characteristic is a spouse like an enemy. 2. A spouse like a robber. No matter how much wealth the couple has, if one of the couple has such a character, then it is like having someone in the house who is burning money the whole time until there is nothing left, for example by gambling or extravagance. The people of old used to say that 7 robberies of your house are better than your house burned down, because at least robbers leave the house behind, and your house burning down 7 times is better than being married to a gambler, because even though the house burns down, the land is still left. With gamblers, all your property is still not enough. They will even run up debts for you to service. Such a spouse is full of greed and tries deviously to extract as much of their parents' money as possible for their self-interest, without thinking how hard they have had to work to earn it. A spouse with such characteristics is a spouse like a robber. 3. A spouse like a boss, where the categories of spouse above threaten your life or your possessions. The boss spouse will threaten your honor, the sort who pulls your ears or treat you like a child in front of your friends. They may be lazy, constantly awaiting the chance to sit down or lie down and rest instead of helping with their various duties, lacking helpfulness and using threats and insults to goad their partner into doing their work in their place, but never accepting similar treatment from their partner. A spouse with such characteristics is a spouse like a boss. 4. A spouse like a mother. A mother has unlimited love for her children, forgiving all of their mistakes. Such a spouse will forgive their partner for anything they do wrong. You will see the special features of such a spouse when their partner is ill or handicapped, and they will look after their partner with the same care as they would look after one of their own children, without thinking of looking for a new partner. This is also true of a spouse whose partner dies when their children are still young, who carries on bringing up their children single-handed without thinking of taking a new partner. Such spouses tend to be full of compassion, loving their partner, helping and being a credit to their partner, looking after their partner's health when they are ill, like a mother would look after her own children. A spouse with such characteristics is a spouse like a mother. 5. A spouse like a little sister. Such a spouse is almost the same as the motherly spouse, but a little more playful, lovely, moody, and emotional, but at the same time truthful, honest, and faithful. They tend to be ashamed of evil and fear the consequences of evil, respecting and looking up to their partner as if they were an older brother or sister. A spouse with such characteristics is a spouse like a little sister. 6. A spouse like a friend. Such a spouse is one of similar background, taste, education as their partner. Maybe they have known their partner since childhood. Such a couple tend not to have much sense of respect towards one another. Their level of morality will be similar, and they can live quite happily together. Such a spouse will tend to be generous and sincere, empathizing with their partner in all they do throughout their life, like a friend who goes together through thick and thin. A spouse with such characteristics is a spouse like a friend. And last, 7. A spouse like a slave. Usually the intelligence of such a spouse is less than that of their partner. They will be honest. They may want to serve their partner to the utmost, but they may make mistakes. Such a spouse tend to allow themselves to be abused, slapped, or beaten by their partner without becoming angry or vengeful, and without blaming their partner, being contented to be completely dominated by them. A spouse with such characteristics is a spouse like a slave. Living together like these first three source couples is like being in hell from the time you are still alive. When such spouse die, then it will only be a continuation of the retribution from all the terrible things the husband and wife have done to one another. They will pass away into hell at the end of their lives as a result of the bad karma they have accumulated for themselves. The remaining 4 types of spouse will pass away into heaven at the end of their lives as a result of the good karma they have accumulated for themselves. They all represent marriage which have the chance of working out. Both husband and wife have a baseline of morality and are flexible. The marriage with spouse from categories 4 to 7 are in decreasing order of stability. Thus, if you are already married, then ask yourself which category you have worked yourself into, as 4 is the most stable of all. That's it, everyone. We learn of the characteristic of the spouse, that we might could have been. So check yourself. If you know, then maybe you can find a room for improvement. If you're already good as it is, congratulations. We will continue again in the next episode of Duties of Husband and Wife. What kind of duties of the spouse should do to one another? Stay tuned. And don't forget to subscribe, like and share on our podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Until then, next time.